Congressional District, and I want to welcome you to our second virtual Military Service Academy Preview Day. Every year, I have the great pleasure to nominate a select few individuals to our United States Military Service Academies. I want to thank all of you for joining us today for our second virtual event and continuing our tradition of coming together to consider this important decision. It's so wonderful to be joined here with representatives from all 5 of the United States Military Service Academies. We will also hear from a recent graduate from our district who just graduated from the U.S. Air Force Academy, as well as we'll hear from a representative of Marion Military Institute, one of our 4 military junior colleges in the United States, located right in Alabama's 7th Congressional District. There are 5 service academies: the United States Military Academy, known as Army at West Point, U.S. Naval Academy, U.S. Air Force Academy, U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, and the United States Coast Guard Academy. All of these service academies offer amazing scholarship opportunities and will prepare you for wonderful careers. This year, the deadline to submit your application to my office is Friday, November 19th, 2021. Please visit our website at sewell.house.gov under the Service tab for eligibility requirements and the nomination checklist. On Saturday, December 4th, we will hold interviews via Zoom for candidates that complete our nomination application. I hope all graduating seniors in our district will consider applying to the U.S. Military Service Academies for college. It is a great way to get scholarship money for your education while learning very important leadership skills. It also requires you to make a commitment to serve a minimum of 5 years in our nation's military. We must never forget the precious gift of freedom that is preserved because of the dedication and courage of those who learn to lead at the U.S. Service Military Academies. It is so wonderful to have the opportunity to welcome our featured speakers who will talk about each of the service military academies, tell us about their experience there and what U.S. applicants have to look forward to. And with that, I'd like to kick it off with our first presenter, Mr. Michael Holland from the United States Military Academy, Army at West Point. Michael, thank you so much for being our first presenter and to tell us all about West Point.
Congresswoman Sewell, thank you for including me as a part of the Military Academy preview for your congressional district. As the Congresswoman said, my name is Michael Holland and I'm from Mobile. Born and raised there. I graduated from Theodore High School in 1984 and I attended West Point, graduated in 1988. And prior to graduation, I was able to select my branch of service, which was the Field Artillery, and then also chose my first unit assignment, which was the 82nd Airborne, located at Fort Bragg. While there in my first assignment, participated in Operation Just Cause in Panama, and then Operations Desert Shield and Desert Storm in the Persian Gulf. I would like to share my screen, and the first slide you'll see there is a beautiful fall day at West Point. This picture was made from the eastern side of the Hudson River. You'll notice the Hudson River in the foreground, and then it wraps around the right-hand side of your screen, and you also see the Hudson River towards the middle right of your screen. West Point has played a role in our nation's history back to the Revolutionary War, and that's when General George Washington considered West Point to be the most important strategic position in America at the time. West Point was founded in 1802 by a piece of legislation signed by President Thomas Jefferson at the time. What you see here is, of course, along the banks of the Hudson, Thayer Hall, where most of the academic courses are, and then you've got the Cadet Chapel kind of nestled amongst these beautiful shaded colored trees as the leaves are changing. And then up in the middle left, Michie Stadium, where Army football plays all of its home football games. There we go. In the middle of this slide, you see the comment, much of the history we teach was made by the people we taught. And that's been the marketing mantra at West Point since I applied back in 1984. Pictured there, you see several great Americans. On the bottom row, you see General Lloyd Austin. He's currently serving in the Biden administration as our Secretary of Defense. This next slide indicates what can happen when you finish West Point, either after retire from the military, or if you move to civil service following some extent in the military. But you see on the left-hand side of this slide all of the what West Point graduates have been able to accomplish. You see the 2 U.S. presidents. Also, under the Trump administration, Mike Pompeo served as Secretary of State. You may recognize that recent name. And then also my classmate, John Bell Edwards, is currently serving his second term as governor of the state of Louisiana. The mission of West Point: to educate, train, and inspire the Corps cadets so that each graduate is a commissioned leader of character, committed to the values of duty, honor, country, and prepared for a career of professional service, of professional excellence and service to the nation as an officer in the United States Army. In the bottom right-hand corner, you see President Obama shaking hands with a graduating cadet, delivering his diploma. Every year, the Vice President and President rotate between Army and Navy who will participate and lead graduation services there. We have over 40 or 45 majors that you can choose from. In the upper right-hand slide, you see a spirit banner that many companies make and display during homecoming week. This one is a little academic humor, but there are 45 different majors that you can select from MSc, Mathematics, Science, and Engineering, to HPA, Humanities, and Public Affairs. The next slide talks about our athletic expectations, and I would like to point out that 100% of the Corps cadets participate in some type of company athletics or intramurals. There are competitive clubs that you can participate in. When I was a cadet, I was on the racquetball team. And then we call it Corps Squad. Those are the varsity sports. But all 100% of the Corps will participate in some type of activity. The quote here: "Upon the fields of friendly strife are sown the seeds that upon other fields on other days will bear the fruits of victory." That statement was made when General MacArthur was superintendent of the Academy. And during World War I, he realized the physical demands that warfare caused on young soldiers. So he elevated the athletic expectations of cadets at the time. This is what a typical day looks like, starting at 0600 formation and then ending at lights out there at 2400. Any service academy is going to be looking for what we call a whole candidate. You see the breakout in each subset there on the left-hand side of the screen. Academic ability does account for a majority of the application, but it's not the only part. You see a significant amount of focus is placed on your leadership potential, what you've accomplished in high school, and then the bottom part of there, the 10%, the cadet fitness test or assessment. One of the things that we're talking about today that Congresswoman Sewell mentioned, the obtaining a nomination, and that is the left-hand side of this puzzle, of this 5-piece puzzle. And her office will help you take care of that once you have met these other pieces of the puzzle: academic qualification, medical qualification, and physical qualifications. Last year, due to COVID, there were not many visits that took place. The ones that did take place, because we're located in the state of New York, took place virtually. Visits have started again, but what you see there is a beautiful winter day on the plains of West Point. Snow is on the ground, and you're going to find snow on the ground probably from Thanksgiving to sometime in March. So as an Alabamian, you need to prepare for that. because we don't see a lot of that, at least here in South Alabama. You probably see more in Birmingham. Finally, graduation. This is in Mikey Stadium, and you see the celebration of 4 years of hard work. And the one thing that I can tell you about it is that you will leave a better person than when you started 4 years earlier. So everything is measured, everything is monitored. You are competing every day that you are there. That's the environment you're in, and that's what you should expect. That's what our nation expects of us, and that this is certainly the West Point experience. So that concludes my presentation, subject to any questions or comments.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Holland. We appreciate you giving that presentation. We're going to go ahead and move over to our next speaker. Our next speaker will be Lieutenant Junior Grade Jacob Brown from the United States Coast Guard Academy. So we'll go ahead and get you off the screen here, and we'll add him right on here in just a second.
Greetings. Thank you for your time here. Thank you to the Congresswoman's office, as well as the staff, for being so accommodating here and affording me the opportunity to present to each and every one of you viewing this on behalf of the United States Coast Guard Academy. My name is Lieutenant Junior Grade Jacob Brown, and I am the Southeast Admissions Officer here at the Coast Guard Academy. So I am the individual directly responsible for reviewing each individual's applicant from your great state, and then of course championing your calls here to my superior supervisors. And so definitely a pleasure and honor of mine to be able to meet you here. I do have a slide that has my name as well as my information, so that you can email me after watching this video. Hopefully you're excited about the U.S. Coast Guard Academy as well as the U.S. Coast Guard. And so to introduce you here to myself, again, Lieutenant Junior Grade Jacob Brown from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I was a 2018 graduate of the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, where I majored in government, played football, and participated in a host of what we call affinity councils there. And so few snapshots of my time at the Academy here. So picture to the top right, I was clearly having the time of my life during swab summer, which is our indoctrination period. So I was learning about the Coast Guard, learning about the Coast Guard Academy and what it means to be a member of the armed forces there. So definitely really, really fun times, as you might imagine. Bottom right there, got the chance to relieve some of that stress that I built up during the swab summer process out there on the football field or Cadet Memorial Field. So definitely really enjoyed my time out there playing football. In the middle there, I was engaging in our drill parade with the former superintendent there as a senior. So really nice day there. As you can see, everyone bundled up there, pretty warm. Bottom left is a picture of myself as well as my older brother, who was a West Point graduate, at my graduation there. So definitely a very special day for me and my family. And then the top left, the sun never sets on the U.S. Coast Guard. However, it does get just to that point that you see pictured there. And so that's a picture from my time on board the Coast Guard Canola Gare, which I reported to out of Portsmouth, Virginia, upon graduation in 2018. And so as you look to the Coast Guard Academy, here's a snapshot of some of the great things you can look forward to, as well as some of the information that you may not be aware of regarding the U.S. Coast Guard Academy or the U.S. Coast Guard. So we are located in New London, Connecticut, and a lot of the things that you may have seen from the other academies is certainly very similar with regards to looking for that holistic review approach, as well as that individual that's going to be well-rounded. So you may be the LeBron James of basketball and maybe the Tiger Woods of golf, but we also need you to be super smart in the classroom there as well, because we need individuals that are going to not only excel academically and athletically, but they are going to be able to go out into the fleet and lead as well. So we have about 1,000 individuals enrolled at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy, as opposed to several thousand at a lot of the other service academies, as well as tens of thousands at some of the other schools you all may be familiar with. We also have 9 academic majors. We are a very STEM-focused school, so all the engineering that you could ever want there, in addition to our cyber major. But again, I was a government major, so we do have humanities majors as well, to include our operations, research, and computer analysis, and our management major. And in addition there, we have our marine environmental science major as well. With regards to sports, we compete at the Division III level as opposed to the Division I there. And so we do have a Division I sailing team, and our women's sailing team actually is the national champion just a few years ago. So really, really special team, and they have a lot of capability. So if there's one thing that the U.S. Coast Guard Academy should probably be really good at, it's probably sailing. So it all makes sense there. But again, great team. Football team is great too as well. With regards to activities and things that you could do at the academy, they have so many clubs that I couldn't name them here because I definitely don't have enough time to do so. But a lot of things for you to be able to do and make sure that you're engaged in. A lot of times for folks from down south, they join our ski and snowboard club, for example, so that they can enjoy the New England experience. But throughout your time here, that 200-week journey, as you'll often hear us say and reference here, the 200-week journey, that 4-year process, is going to be a special time in which you learn a lot. You're going to grow and develop as both a military leader as well as a young person, a young woman or man as well there. Another unique piece, when you go out in the summertime, you're going to do Coast Guard specific training. So that may be on the tall ship Eagle, where you'll sail around the world. Maybe you go to the Azores as well as the Bahamas, or maybe through the Bermuda Triangle, or maybe even you have the chance to go to Seattle on an icebreaker, maybe go to Alaska to the North or South Pole. All those are all options for you there as you go through our great summer training program. And again, you have the time of your life at the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. Something that is a bit unique with regards to the U.S. Coast Guard Academy as opposed to other service academies as well is the fact that we do not require the congressional nomination. And so it is definitely a hat off and a thank you from our side of the house for being invited to such an event. So really, really excited about that. And we do want to thank you all for, again, allowing us to have this opportunity to speak with you all here. Another piece here is that we actually are proud to say that we have a 85% retention rate with regards to those that have to fulfill that 5-year commitment, because when you graduate from our institution, just like the other service academies there, you will have the obligation of serving 5 years in the fleet as a Coast Guard officer upon graduation. So another piece that's just really, really important there. And looking at our admissions process, everything is online, and we're actually making the test optional for this year with regards to the SAT and ACT there. So again, tests are optional. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns regarding that process. And before I wrap up and conclude here, looking at the greater Coast Guard, once you graduate in 2018, you will know, or graduate in your respective year there. I'm so stuck on 2018 because that was my special year. But for the even year graduates as well as the odd year graduates here of the future, you will have that opportunity again to go out to that greater Coast Guard and that greater fleet there. So whether you're flying planes, whether you're going to train maritime forces in Saudi Arabia, or working to represent the U.S. Coast Guard overseas in Japan, or you're staying local, maybe getting stationed in Florida, California, or Virginia here. A lot of mission sets for you there to do a lot of great things. You are going to have postgraduate opportunities where you can go and get your master's degree and a host of other different things as well. So you're going to see the world, guaranteed. We're not just on the U.S. coastlines, we're around the world. And again, like we say here, the sun never sets on the U.S. Coast Guard. But again, fantastic opportunity. I couldn't be happier that I made the commitment back in 2014 to come to the Coast Guard Academy. And I'm going to continue to be here and continue to stay in the great Coast Guard as a service until I stop having fun. So it's going to be quite the ride, I'm sure. But with that, again, feel free to reach out and email me anytime. And definitely thank you again for participating.
We're going to turn it over to Colonel Mark Brown from the United States Air Force Academy. So I will go ahead and add his video to the stream here. Colonel Brown, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks very much. It's really a pleasure to be part of this Academy preview for the 7th Congressional District. I'm speaking to you from Prattville, Alabama, which is right close to the district. And I have spent a good bit of time, especially this semester, traveling to high schools. Perhaps I've even been to yours. And I've seen lots of junior ROTC units, and perhaps there's a cadet listening today, and I applaud you for checking out military service early on while you're in high school. I want to start with a message straight from my heart. It's the most important thing I have to tell you today, and that is just simply that I had an amazing 4-year experience at the U.S. Air Force Academy back in the late 1980s, long time ago. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And that's why, as a retired officer now, I devote a good bit of time to visiting, especially your congressional district and others around the state, to make sure that young people know about the opportunity and know that it's perhaps within their grasp. If a service academy is something that fascinates you and a career in military service fascinates you, well, first of all, you've stumbled on to just exactly the right place, because You're fortunate today to be able to compare and contrast and hear from all the service academies. I really enjoyed hearing from my West Point colleague just now, and I look forward to the rest. We're not competing. We're not trying to sell you our academy over the others. I think I can speak for all of us and say we want you to know what your options are, so that you can choose what fits you the best. It's an amazing series of opportunities as you listen to each of us describe our academy. So I hope you'll pay attention to many of the things we have in common, and then pick out a few of the unique characteristics of each one, and that'll help you figure out what's best for you, which one fits you the best. We haven't talked about money yet, so let me just go ahead and be pretty frank about that and say you can afford to go to college, because every service academy is paid for. See, these are 4-year universities inside the military. They're owned and operated by the military, the Pentagon. And because of that, you don't need a loan or a grant or a scholarship or any form of student aid. And that's, I hope, not the main reason that you would choose a service academy or a certain university. But let's be real about it. Money is an important part of your decision as you look to what you'll do after high school. So I want you to know that loud and clear, that these are universities that you can afford. They are paid for by the United States government. So keep that in mind as you think through your big decision about what to do after you get that diploma. Just months away now, next year. It gets even better than that, actually. All cadets and midshipmen are on salary as they attend these academies. And so, again, this is within reach financially. Know that for a fact right up front. But what sets them apart? Why would you choose to go way out to Colorado Springs, where my school is, or up to Maryland or upstate New York, etc., Connecticut, when you live in central Alabama? So why would you make that call? ASU and Troy, Bama and Auburn, they all have great things to offer. So I'd like to devote most of my time to trying to show you, like the other service academies, how the Air Force Academy stands out. First of all, I've already said that it's a 4-year university inside the military. So in one big step, you're choosing college and military service, all wrapped up into one big step. On the first day, you start with basic training, and that's a distinctive characteristic of any academy experience compared to your local options here. Everyone who enters the military, that's the first thing that happens. The first thing is you leave that world behind where you grew up. Maybe it was Birmingham, maybe it was one of the small rural towns out west. Wherever you're from, the military is pulling you out of that culture, out of that environment, and they're teaching you a new everything. It's a really an intensive experience, basic training. You learn how to walk, that is to march, and how to wear a uniform, even exactly how you have to cut your hair. And you're basically brought into a new culture, and it's a stressful and challenging environment, but it may be a challenge that you really want to embrace. So keep that in mind with all the academies you'll hear from today. It starts with a basic training experience that's quite intense. And then where does it go from there? Well, right after basic training, you're into full-time college work, just to some extent like you would at a local university here in Alabama. You're in uniform Monday through Friday as you attend these classes. However, the academic experience is probably more varied than you might expect. We offer about 30 or so majors and minors, and some of them are predictable. We have an aeronautical engineering program and an astronautical program and several other engineering programs, because yes, we are about flying and fighting and winning, and that's high tech. There's lots of complex designs involved. So engineering is huge at my school. And we have several engineering programs that are ranked in the top 10 nationwide. So please include that in your decision making too. Maybe math or science, or maybe they're two of your favorite subjects in school and you'd like to really pursue that. We have those opportunities. But don't think of the Air Force Academy as just about flying and satellites and missiles and such. And engineering degrees are a must. They're not. I'm actually a pretty good example of that. I decided I love to read and write, so I declared English as a major. I majored in English Lit. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in English Lit. So that's a good snapshot of the unique educational experience that the service academies offered. I have a Bachelor of Science in a liberal arts program because we give our curriculum gives a very broad, thorough foundation in the sciences and math, to include engineering and computer programming and such. So I want you to know, just to some extent, what that experience is going to be like. I often get this question when I'm out speaking at schools: am I giving up the college experience? Is this all marching and parades and saluting, and that's what my life is like? Well, I think we would all agree, all of us representatives from our academies, that to be honest, there is an aspect that you are giving up, because military service involves sacrifice inherently. So the answer is yes, to some degree. You don't get to pick what clothes you wear when you go to class, and you don't get to decide exactly what hairstyle you'd like to have. And the list goes on from there. Because again, like I said at the beginning, you haven't just chosen a university to attend, you've chosen military service as a new way of life. And Congresswoman Sewell mentioned quickly that that includes a minimum commitment of at least 5 years of active duty service in one of the branches of the military. But the answer is not a strict yes. I am not totally giving up the college experience when I choose a service academy. There are clubs, more than I could possibly name. We are NCAA Division I, and we have every sport you can name, maybe a couple that you can't, because we don't play them here in Alabama. But the point is this is a college experience. It's different. Yes, it's different than what you would get at ASU or UAB or Troy. But don't feel like choosing a service academy is just missing out on that whole 4-year experience that you've heard about for so long. It's really not that. I wish I had more time. I could explain in greater detail the amazing array of experiences that are open to you as an academy cadet or midshipman. But just know, in a nutshell, yes, you are making some sacrifices by choosing a military academy as opposed to your local university. So then it's your call. It's your call whether or not the distinctives of an academy education are worth those what you might consider sacrifices. I'd like to spend just a few more minutes, and I don't want to take too much time, offering you some insight into how would I ever get there? How would I make this happen? Well, first of all, I applaud you for tuning into this video, because you are at exactly the right place. Congresswoman Sewell, the host of our meeting, she is the one who can nominate you to one of the service academies. And that's a big, important step in the process. So I encourage you to get in contact or stay in contact with her staff. And if you decide to head down this road, request a nomination from her. Okay. That's the good news. You are in contact with Congresswoman Sewell's office, and that's a great first step. The not as good news, the bad news, I'll say, is that this is an intense competitive environment. Any academy admissions process is intensely competitive. It's just such a sweet deal. That's what I need you to know. It's such a sweet deal. There are lots of people all across the 50 states who want to be one of the few selected to join one of these academy classes. All right. So what does that mean to you specifically? You need to have a few academic targets in mind. I don't know if I should really quote exact numbers, but you need to do really well. You need to do well above average on your ACT. I encourage you to take that multiple times. I encourage you to try prep courses and work that just as hard as you can. If you're a ninth or 10th grader listening, you have plenty of time to plan and prepare. Juniors and seniors, not quite as much, but I encourage all of you listening to take the ACT seriously and take it over and over again, because that is a major part of successfully completing one of these academy admission processes. We're also, let me tell you our vision statement. It's developing leaders of character. And so we're not just interested in your magic number from your ACT or your SAT. We're also interested in discerning, can we trust you? Are you a future leader? Should you be a commissioned officer, a shiny gold bar on your shoulder, a second lieutenant or an ensign in our military? That can be demonstrated in what you do and how you conduct yourself in high school. So you might demonstrate leadership potential by joining clubs, not just merely joining them, but perhaps leading them. Team sports as well, and pursuing leadership roles there. Junior ROTC, maybe some of you are in a junior ROTC program. You can rise and rank, take on further responsibilities. For the sake of time, I'm not going to complete that list, but I hope you get the idea that we don't just need somebody with a really amazing GPA and test score. We're looking for a future leader of character for our military. Now, I'll conclude by highlighting what perhaps I should have been highlighting all along. The distinctives of the U.S. Air Force Academy, of course, includes flying airplanes. We're not the only service, not at all, the only service that flies airplanes, but just like our name implies, it's our specialty, and it has been from the very, very beginning. If you have a passion or even just a curiosity at this point about flying airplanes and making that a career, I encourage you to consider this. About half, sometimes more than half of our graduating class, as soon as they're finished at the academy, they're off to pilot training. All right, so it's an excellent choice. It's an excellent route to pursue if your dream, if your goal is to be a military aviator. I encourage you to keep that in mind. And then finally, I want to say that the Air Force Academy, just in the last year or so, has started commissioning officers not just into the Air Force, but maybe you've heard of it, the brand new United States Space Force. We offer that as an option. Just like if you go to the Naval Academy, you can choose to be a naval officer or a Marine. Likewise, at my school, you can choose to be an Air Force or a Space Force officer. So think rockets and missiles and astronautics and things like that. Those windows of opportunity open to you as well as an Air Force Academy cadet or brand new graduate. I sure appreciate you listening, and thank you for your time. We'd love to follow up with you. You can reach us at academyadmissions.com, academyadmissions.com. Thank you so much.
We're going to go with Lieutenant Pablo Beltran next from the United States Naval Academy. And we're happy to share your screen as well if you have a presentation to deliver. So I'll turn it over to you, and the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, team. My name is Lieutenant Pablo Beltran. I am a 2015 grad of the Naval Academy. I'm currently an admissions counselor at the Naval Academy. I work in the Region 2, the Southeast region. My states are North Carolina, South Carolina, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands. I used to have Alabama in the last session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll put my contact info in the chat, or I'll give it to Representative Sewell's staff afterwards as well. I won't take as long as the other academies because a lot of the stuff that we are presenting to you is kind of repetitive. You really cannot go wrong with all the service academies. I truly, truly believe that. A little bit biased. I went to the Naval Academy. I'm a surface warfare officer. I drive ships in shorter terms. I have a Bachelor's of Science from the Naval Academy in International Relations. I was a football player at the Naval Academy. I was a varsity letter winner for 4 years. And I have to mention that I did win against Army 4 times in a row. So sorry about that. But yeah, I'll start it off by saying that I've been stationed in both Virginia Beach, San Diego, and now finally Annapolis. So one of the biggest difference between the academies, in my opinion, is the location. We were located in Annapolis, Maryland, which is a beautiful little boating town, the capital of Maryland, about 25 miles away from both Baltimore and Washington, D.C. We're a 2.5 mile academy, which is pretty small, but we pack a big punch. We have everything you can need for a college campus, anywhere between a barbershop, a laundry, post office, medical and dental, all the way to a brand new renovated top 100 golf course. We do have the best athletic facilities in the area, and we do have 3 swimming pools and 5 fitness and gym centers. These are our current majors. We do offer 3 colleges. We have the College of Engineering and Weapons, which is on the left side. The middle piece is the College of Mathematics and Science, and the far right piece is the Humanities and Social Sciences, and finally, we do offer the following minors. Again, we're pretty centered in STEM, and we do have some pretty high rankings, just as long as the other service academies. We do have a very, very strong foundation in math. Most of our students actually all of our students take at least 4 semesters of a math class, including Calc 1 through 3. And one of the key pieces of the application for us is the STEM piece. So please focus on that while you're applying. Similar to the other academies, we do have a very small classroom size. We do have a faculty to student ratio of 8-to-1. Most classroom sizes are only about 10 to 25 students. We also offer a civilian and military ratio for professors of 1-to-1. So for every one of your teachers who is a PhD, we have a counterpart who is an active duty military professional. It could be a Navy, Army, Air Force, or even some international officers. And that, in my opinion, is a very good way to communicate what you want to do after the Naval Academy and to provide you some mentorship in different fields. Somewhat of what a midshipman daily schedule looks like. I think we covered that. I would say that most days are full with things to do. We do have a 4 o'clock athletic period where all midshipmen have to take part in something athletically, whether that is a varsity sport, a club sport, or an extracurricular activity. We offer 33 varsity sports, the 3rd most in the country behind Ohio State and Stanford. In football, we participate in the American Athletic Conference, and in every other sport, we participate in the Patriot League. Some of our extracurricular activities, we have cultural, music, and service academy, extracurricular activities. These are in case you don't want to play sport or you want to do something else outside of sports. We do have some really good activities to include the masqueraders that offer a professional performance every year around Christmas time, or the Midshipman Action Group, which is a service group that travels up and down the East Coast, as well as the Gospel Choir or the Glee Club. You might have seen the Glee Club sing the national anthem at different sporting events. So really top of the line extracurricular activities. We've talked about the pay and benefits. They're all the same for the service academies. We're also full scholarship, and you also get the midshipman stipend. It's about $1,500 every month. Sorry, $1,100 every month, but you won't see that. That goes to paying off your ACE loan. You'll see increments of about $100 every year as you go along, starting from 100 all the way to the 500, 600 range. Difference between us and the other service academies: we graduate you with a Bachelor of Science from the Naval Academy, and you'll commission as an officer in the Navy or the Marine Corps. You'll encourage a minimum 5-year service commitment, and that is because our aviation commitment is a little bit longer. It's 7 years past your winging at flight school. I'll go back this. For services, our surface warfare officers is about 25% of the class. Our aviation is about 25% of the class as well. Marine Corps is about 25%, and the rest of the 25 is other, which is cryptological, cyber, medical, and dental. All the other support commissionings from the Naval Academy. So we do have a pretty varied stance on our commitments. We have in my opinion, the widest array of jobs you can do post graduation, to include all kinds of platforms on airplanes, and as well as marine craft. We do have a STEM camp every year. And we also have a summer seminar. If you want to find out more information about that, please go to our usna.edu/admissions. There's a ton of information for that on there. It's a great way to understand what the Naval Academy is about. Basic eligibility, you must be 17 years of age. You must not be older than 23 on July 1st of the year of entry. You must be a U.S. citizen, and you must not be married, pregnant, and have any legal obligation to child or any other individual. And the last bit that's not on there is you must be of good moral character, which we will determine that via your application. Here's our website. Please check it out. We also have a daily chat at noon where counselors like myself will hop on the chat and answer any questions you may have. It's usually on the right. There's a corner box right here where there's 3 little bubbles where you can hop on and ask anything between application status or life at the Academy, commissioning sources, whatever you want to ask about. We have that open for you. This is a candidate cycle for the Academy, starting your junior year with the SAT and the ACT. Summer seminar happens, applications open up, the admissions board start around September. Your deadline for the application is January 31st, and we'll notify all the candidates by April 15th. Around July 1st, we start plebe summer. Some of the steps for the Academy: you must complete a preliminary application. While you do that, you'll become an official candidate. If you complete the admissions board, physically qualify, medically qualify, and then obviously the nomination piece here is really important in this conversation because that's where Representative Sewell comes into play. You're eligible to compete for an appointment at the Naval Academy, and we have about 1,200 of those every single year. If you don't get that into the Academy your first go around, we do have the prep schools. The Naval Academy prep school is in Rhode Island. I'm actually a graduate of the prep school, and we also have the foundation programs. If you have any more questions about that, please reach out to me and or any of the counselors, and we can talk to you through that process. Some advice for admissions: have a strong foundation in math and science. Take the highest level of algebra, geometry, trigonometry, pre-calculus, calculus, chemistry, and physics with a lab if you can. Understanding that if you are able to do that in your high school, if not, supplement that with maybe a community college, do some dual enrollment. We don't have a minimum GPA at the Naval Academy, but we do tell you that most of our class snapshot, most students are in their top 20% of their high school class. We do say to take your SAT early and often. Obviously with COVID now, that's a little bit more difficult. So if you get a chance to take the SAT, please do well on it. Finally, we do encourage AP and honors courses. And actually, this is actually finally, speaking after, I believe it's Colonel Brown, he said, we are looking for a well-rounded individual, candidates who are involved in their community, are playing sports, if you can't play a sport, you're working and you're taking a leadership role within your work, you're volunteering, you're taking part of your community. I think that's very important for all the academies. Lastly, top 5 reasons to go to the Naval Academy. You're on a full scholarship, you're guaranteed employment. Obviously the location in Annapolis is unbelievable. If you get a chance to come, I highly encourage it. You'll be in the leadership and character development bubble of the country. And then if you lastly, 90% graduation rate in 4 years, you come to the Naval Academy, you'll graduate. Some of our websites. Finally, graduation at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. One of the best days of my life. So thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone. And I'll put my email in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Beltran. We're going to go ahead and turn it over next to Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bowen from the 7th District's own Marion Military Institute. So I'll go ahead and get you up on the screen here, and the floor is yours.
Great. Good afternoon. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas Bowen from Marion Military Institute in Marion, Alabama. Alabama 7. I live and work in Alabama 7. Congresswoman Sewell, thank you for inviting me again this year to your virtual event. I appreciate it. I'm a 1982 graduate of West Point, infantry officer for 22 years. And I've served here. It's my 5th year serving. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see what Marion Military Institute is all about. Okay, so this is, so Congresswoman, thank you again for inviting me. How do I advance this? Okay, also, no, let's see. Okay. So here's an overview of our campus, established in 1842 in downtown Marion. We have been commissioning boys and girls we've been placing boys and girls into the 5 service academies for over 100 years. We are a foundation school for all 5 service academies, West Point, Annapolis, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marine. We're the only one in the United States. So I feel blessed to be able to work in Alabama and be able to put boys and girls into our 5 service academies every year. If your plan A is to go to Air Force, Navy, West Point, Annapolis, Coast Guard, or Merchant Marine, and you don't get there in your first year in high school, come on to Marion Military Institute. We are very good at increasing your competitiveness for each of the 5 service academies, making you a more attractive cadet candidate, midshipman candidate for each of your academy. So if your plan A is to get to a service academy and you don't make it your first year, which a lot do not be dismayed, but come to Marion Military and we'll help you get back to your plan A and secure that nomination and appointment to your academy. This past year, 2021, we had 101 appointments. 91 of our cadets, 91 earned appointments, 101 appointments total. You can see where they all went. Some earned 4, some earned 3, some earned 2, and everybody earned 1. Not everybody, but 91 of our 125 earned appointments last year. Our foundations, as they are with the 5 service academies, are academic in character and leadership. We will develop your leadership in every way, shape, and form. In fact, this morning at 5:45, about 1/3 of our service academy cadets were swimming in the swimming pool. In our second year, our sophomore cadets were taking charge of it and ensuring that the C1s, the first year cadets, were doing the strokes that they needed to be doing for that hour of very physical training. Here's the courses that you'll be taking at Marion Military, which will prepare you for your service academy. Chemistry, everybody will take chemistry. Physics are for all academies except for West Point, who will take American history. Pre-calc and calc, we have 4 math teachers. So you'll have one of them preparing you for the STEM courses you'll certainly face at your academies. English comp, we have 2 professors who will teach you that. Military science, we have our ROTC department here teaching that. And physical training 3 mornings a week. And now we're doing remedial PT on Saturdays also to make sure that everybody passes the CFA, PRT, or PFE. Here's your schedule for when you would get here mid-August next year in 2022, if you are a senior this year. And then you'll go through a basic indoctrination or basic training called intensive training cycle for 3 or 4 weeks. And you're starting classes right off the bat too. And we'll have cresting, which is recognition. The service academies would call recognition. Family weekend, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. You get 4 weeks after Christmas for leave for vacation. Here's a typical day, very busy, just like it is for all of the academies. 05:45 PT 3 mornings a week, and then classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Very busy. Here's how we help you in your competitiveness, your appointment competitiveness. You need to have an excellent GPA here, a 3.5 to 4.0, ideally, in order to be competitive for your academy. Great ACT and SAT scores. We do offer 32 hours of ACT, SAT prep now from a young man who lives in Vestavia Hills. He comes down here 4 times every autumn for 8 hours. So it's a full semester of ACT, SAT prep. Physical fitness, a retired First Sergeant and I, Army First Sergeant and I run PT. So we will make sure that you are in good condition. And of course, nominations. I do preside over Congresswoman Sewell's nomination board. I have for a few years, and I appreciate that. So I get to see the young men and women from Alabama 7 to get into academies. Leadership development is limitless. You can lead in the companies. You can lead in your squad, platoon, or in the company or in the battalion. Many different leadership opportunities in clubs and in the classroom too. You can ask questions and lead discussions in your classroom in order to develop your leadership. And physical fitness, again, 3 mornings a week. Cardiovascular strength, we're doing swimming all week. And core development, make sure you can do your planks and your sit-ups. We do administer the CFA, the Candidate Fitness Assessment, the PRT for Navy, and the PFE for Coast Guard Academy. So we do prepare you for that. Picture of our pool and one of our 2 weight rooms. Here's our rappel tower, and we have many different facilities on campus, weight rooms, 2 weight rooms, running trail now, a great obstacle course that outsiders come to like and use, junior ROTC, policemen, firemen use our obstacle course, rappel tower. We have a golf course and a golf team. We have tennis courts and a tennis team, Starbucks, and a library, of course. Many different clubs. The one popular one is a flight program called the Flying Tigers. We also have scuba. We have obstacle course race team. We have Swamp Fox, which is a hallmark of Marion military, dating back to 1963, and many more clubs there. Band, chorus, math club, honors club. Many different advantages for coming here. Again, we are the only school in the United States that all 5 academies send their sponsored cadets to. Dedicated program director, I am in it for you. I am here to help you, get you over the goal line and get the appointment for you. Again, the ACT, SAT prep. We have a tutoring center, free. Everybody's an academic advisor here. I have 10 cadets going to West Point this year as my advisees. We have interviewers coming here. In fact, Thursday, we have Navy coming here to interview our self-sponsored cadets on campus. So there's great advantages in that the academies do come here. We'll get you an ROTC nomination for West Point. So you have not only congressional, but also ROTC, academics, physical fitness clubs. And we do have 9 sports here, junior NCAA. Picture a conglomeration of some of the activities that we do here that Service Academy cadets do participate in. We're #1 community college in Alabama, ranked by Niche, and number 19 in the nation, ranked by Niche. Nearby attractions, college football, you can't beat Alabama, Auburn, Troy, UAB, and some of the smaller schools too here. So great attractions there. Of course, the Gulf of Mexico, Talladega. And here is my contact information. Feel free to call me or email me. I'd be glad to talk with you. And also, if you want to come down, it's about 60 to 75 miles from Birmingham. I'd be glad to take you for a tour, which I do very often. So give me a holler, and I'll help you make you more competitive for your service academy. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel Bowman. We're going to turn it over to the Congresswoman in just a second to introduce our very next guest. But before we do that, I do just want to remind folks who are tuning in that our deadline to apply to be nominated to one of the service academies is November 19th, 2021. That's a Friday. And then Zoom interviews will be held on Saturday, December 14th. So again, the deadline to apply is November 19th, 2021. That is a Friday. And the interviews will be held on Saturday, December 4th. So with that, I will go ahead and kick it back over to Congresswoman Sewell to introduce our very next guest.
Hi, I am so excited to hear about the 5 service military academies and the presentations that were just had. But I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to talk to a recent graduate of one of the military academies, Alabama's 7th Congressional District very own 2nd Lieutenant Terrence Perkins, who graduated from the United States Air Force Academy this year. Is 2nd Lieutenant Perkins here?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. This is a part of our preview day that I really enjoy, an opportunity to talk to one of the members of Alabama's 7th Congressional District that received our nomination 4 years ago and has already graduated. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, 2nd Lieutenant? I love saying that. 2nd Lieutenant Terrence Perkins.
Yes, ma'am, of course. So my name is 2nd Lieutenant Terrence Perkins from Montgomery, Alabama, born and raised. A little bit away from the airport. That's where I grew up in. In high school, I was on the wrestling team. I went to Prattville High School. I was on the wrestling team, a part of JRTC, on a physical training team, all sorts of that activities going on. And after I received my appointment to the Air Force Academy Preparatory School first, after I reapplied for another nomination, got the nomination. In the next year, I got an appointment slot to the Air Force Academy and just graduated this past May.
Awesome. That's awesome. You know, to me, it's really important when you're thinking about joining a service academy, a military academy, you know, how do you choose among them? How did you know that you wanted to be at Air Force Academy? And did you feel like your preparation at Prattville High School helped you. And it sounds like you also had the opportunity to do a preparatory school as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? You know, I know when I was deciding where to go to college, the thought of going away from home so far away was really intimidating. So I think that having conversations like this from recent graduates who are from the district is always so helpful. So can you talk a little bit about how you decided to choose among them and choose Air Force Academy, and then whether or not you thought you were prepared and what you did to get prepared?
Yes, ma'am, of course. So a little bit about me. So I was always interested in aviation. Growing up very, very close to Maxwell Air Force Base, I had a unique opportunity to go to several different air shows that my dad took me to on base. So from then on, I was always sold and did a little bit of research about the Air Force Academy or Air Force in general and what their mission really goes about. And I said, hey, this is probably for me. So that's what I really did. You just go into research and doing whatever you can to understand the branches of the military. So
now we know that the Air Force Academy is far away from home. How did you adjust to your first year, and was it what you thought it would be?
So one thing that people tend to forget is that you're not the only one that's there. There's over 1,000 of you guys that all enter at the same time. So there's a lot of people that's homesick. So when I went to the prep school, the first couple of weeks, I remember I was just daydreaming about being at home, missing my family, missing my parents. Just over time, being able to go home and spending time with your friends, being focused on getting to know the people that's around you and earning your slot to the academy, and also keeping your slot and focus on academics and things, that'll take you away from being homesick. But you do have those opportunities over the summer to go back home or go home every single break too, for Thanksgiving, Christmas break, which you get about 3 weeks for Christmas break in summer. So over time, you're gonna leave that homesickness at home.
So tell us again where the Air Force Academy is, and was the preparatory academy also located there?
Yes, ma'am. So the Air Force Academy is located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's about 20 minutes from downtown Colorado Springs. I know when people think of Colorado, they think it's like, oh, chilly, cold, you know, it does get really cold there. But also the Air Force Academy Preparatory School is also on the same base, about 5 minutes away from the actual Air Force Academy. So it's a really cool, unique opportunity. You get to see, we call it the Hill. You get to see all the daily activities to go up there. You also get to go visit the campus and everything.
And do the other service academies also have preparatory schools?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
And so you did that for 1 year before you went to the Air Force, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. So a little bit about that process is that you do a whole year, all paid for. You also get paid to do it. And the next year,
say that again.
You also get paid to do it. So the next year, you earn your slot into the Air Force Academy. Cool thing also about that is just that's pretty much a guarantee that you can get into those service academies. If you meet all the academic requirements, the academy sees that you're a potential leader of character, and they want you. So they'll send you to either a Falcon Foundation place, which Marion Military is also one, or they'll send you to the Air Force Academy Preparatory School. You know, if they're spending money on you, you know they want you, and they want you there next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what did you major in? And
economics.
Economics. So tell me a little bit about what you want to use that for. And I know that now that you've graduated, you go into your 5 years of military service. Do you know where you'll be next?
Yes, ma'am. So I got selected for a pilot slot. So after this job right here, I'll be going to pilot training. But a little bit about my degree that is focused mostly on how economics work in the whole United States or around the world. So really cool, unique opportunity I also had to do with that is I got an opportunity to learn how Department of Defense work with this economics of how they get equipment and things like that. So I'll be using that to understand where we're at as a military and where we're going to use those assets whenever we need it.
So where are you going to go to pilot school?
Vance Air Force Base, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. When do you leave?
March.
In March. Awesome.
Yes,
I know your parents are very excited to have you home, at least for a minute, and excited that you graduated from the Air Force Academy. Now, did you find that it was, what did you find to be the most rewarding part of your time at the Air Force Academy? And what did you think was the most difficult part, and how did you overcome that?
So I'll start off with the most difficult point. So Sophomore year is really a grind at the academy because you're taking a lot of classes. At one point, I was taking up 22 credit hours, a lot of credit hours right there. But having that, because I'm not the smartest by all means, but I had those instructors that really care about you achieving your goals, understand that, hey, if you put a little bit of effort, you can get through anything. One of the most memorable things is that due to COVID this year, we usually receive our class rings in June of our, not June, but May of our graduating junior year. Yeah. But because of COVID and everything, they sent us back home and weren't able to get that. So August of 2020, we got our class rings all together as a class.
Oh, that's a nice ring. Look that up. Woo-hoo, we love hardware.
Yep. So it was a really unique and historical moment for us because no one in the history of at the academy has experienced like they're getting a classroom a different way. So that was very unique.
Yeah, the pandemic has made all of us have to really use technology to try to communicate, and the distance learning is unique. So it must have been great to get your class ring though, and to see
yes,
to be able to graduate in person these days. So what advice would you give to students who are from our district who are interested in applying to the academies? What advice would you give them?
You got to be determined. One thing we like to say at the academy is that you got to have grit. You can't just focus on one academic or like one challenges or one pillar that we call it, which is academics, athletics, and some sort of leadership qualities. You got to focus on all three. You got to continue to work and develop yourself throughout the whole 4 years. If you're like senior, your time is winding down, but if you're a freshman, that time starts now. You have the unique opportunity. If you want to take it, it's there for you.
So determination and hard work. And also it sounds like commitment are the things that you would advise folks who are thinking about applying. You know, one of the things that you talked about was so important to me when I went off to college. And that said, if you get into these academies, they want you to get out. And so there are lots of resources that you can avail yourself once you're there. And there are so many different programs and alumni who really want to see you succeed. I found when I went off I was the first person from my high school to go to an Ivy League school. I went to Princeton, and I felt like, you know, a fish out of water, frankly. But what I realized is that, as you said, lots of people are feeling the same way. And secondly, that I got in there, so they knew that they felt like I had the ability to get out. So I just needed to avail myself of the tutors and the opportunities. You know, I love to tell folks, you have to raise your hand while people can still help you. So if you see that you need some help academically, then you should raise your hand to ask for a tutor, ask for help, because these wonderful academies let you in. And if they let you in, they want you to come out and be successful, and they want to give you the tools to be successful. Did you find that to be the case?
Yes, ma'am. That's true on all levels, all three pillars that I mentioned earlier. You have someone that's there to help you throughout the whole process, all 4 years.
Yeah. You know, people always look at the end result, that you have your degree from Air Force and you're now about to go to pilot school, and they never see people's journey. And almost everyone's journey includes having an opportunity to be mentored by someone, everyone's journey has, valley moments, and they also have, mountain moments, but people only see the end result. And so I think that what you said about determination and commitment and hard work are the things that really and grit will be the things that will help you succeed. So I want to thank you again, Terrence. Can I call you Terrence, or must I call you second?
Yes, ma'am. You can call me Terrence.
Thank you for giving us a little bit of insight at your experience. And can you talk about the sort of alumni network? And, because once you graduate, you then join, this really impressive list of amazing folks that went to these service academies.
Yes, ma'am. So a little bit about that. So we like to say you're joining the lone blue line is what we call it. There's over 60,000 graduates that graduates from the Air Force Academy. And there's just a network of people that you can talk to. We have a AOG, where we call the Academy Association of Graduates, that me and Colonel Brown, one of the speakers, are a part of. Within that, there's so many different people on other levels that gives you opportunities to go apply for other companies once you get out of it. For instance, like Obviously, I don't have to do that right now because I got about a 5-year to 10-year commitment. So, but within that, I got a chance to talk to one of the vice presidents of a defense contractor, a pretty high up position there. And so just because I was an academy graduate, so things like that opens up a lot of opportunities for you in the future.
And I know that you can choose to stay in the military, or you can choose to use that skill set, which I know is very much applicable to so many different career paths. So have you talked to folks who've done different things other than the military with their amazing degree from Air Force?
Yes, ma'am. All the time. Continue to talk to one person right now who's my mentor, who's on the wrestling team at their academy, and he taught me a lot of good lessons about what the civilian side looks like, and if I want that option whenever my career term ends up, if I want to continue. So you have so many different assets that you can use that's available for you to determine what you want to do.
And, I think that while we talked a lot about the academic part of it, talk to us a little bit about the character building and leadership, sort of the intangible things that you receive by going to the Air Force Academy.
So at the Academy, we use this honor code of we will not lie, cheat, or steal, nor tolerate among us anyone who does. So that's the basics of what every cadet starts off with from day one. As soon as you get there, that's the first thing they teach you about. Because with having character requires trust. We need to trust each other to get the mission done in service to our nation. So we all understand that. So we all continue to build character. We take a bunch of character classes. We also have this National Character and Leadership Symposium that we have every single year at the Academy, where leaders of the Air Force speak, or leaders just in different career fields or different opportunities that they had over time come and speak to us and brief us about the challenges and things that they face. Because you will be challenged at Academy, but you're being challenged with 4,000 other people and people before you who's also done that challenge. So we really take building character there pretty seriously.
Well, awesome. Second Lieutenant Terrence Perkins, we're also very proud of you, not only in receiving the nomination, but also graduating from the Academy and going on to great things. We expect big things from you, and we know that you're up to the challenge and that you will meet the task. So thank you so much for sharing with students who are in our district who are thinking about joining one of these military academies and applying. I know the application process is arduous, but it sounds like the upside makes it so much worth it, because you're walking away, I would assume, debt free. Unlike me, I came out with a whole bunch of loans. But I understand that not only does it help you pay for college, but they also provide you a stipend while you're there. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're investing in our greatest resource, which are our people. And so I just want more students from our district to think about the service academies as an amazing opportunity to not only get a great education, not only to learn amazing leadership skills and character building skills, but also to really set a firm foundation to provide for your family and to also your community. So thanks again, Terrence, for doing this with us, and best of luck. And, once Team Sewell, always Team Sewell. So just let us know how we can be of help to you in your future. Thanks again.
Thank you.
So I'm going to now turn it over to Chris.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. In a couple of seconds, we are going to have the Congresswoman give some closing remarks here. But in the meantime, I just want to remind everyone that our application deadline for this year is Friday, November 19th, 2021. You can visit sewell.house.gov under the Services tab to check eligibility requirements, as well as a nomination checklist. And on Saturday, December 4th, is when Congresswoman Sewell's office will hold interviews via Zoom for those candidates that complete the nomination application. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it back over to Congresswoman Sewell.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. In closing, I'd like to thank each of our guests for taking the time to present today about the wonderful opportunities provided by these historic institutions. As I hope you all have learned today, the U.S. Military Service Academies is a great way to not only further your education, but to offer you an invaluable experience to develop your leadership and interpersonal skills and your character. I wish you all the best of luck as you pursue your goal of attending one of the United States military academies. And thank you all for your willingness to serve our country. There's no bigger and better opportunity than to serve one's country. And what a great way to get a wonderful education and to learn amazingly important life skills that will serve you for the rest of your life. We are definitely indebted to those brave servicemen and women who have answered the call to protect this great nation. And I want to thank all of our presenters, many of whom attended the military academies that they spoke about. Their commitment extends, as you can tell, well beyond their graduation. I also want to again thank Second Lieutenant Terrence Perkins, who is from Montgomery, Alabama, and just recently graduated from the Air Force. He is a wonderful example of what's possible from our district with these great opportunities. So remember, the deadline is Friday, November 19th, 2021, to submit your application to our office. These applications must be mailed directly to my Montgomery office, to my Birmingham office, along with submitting an application to my office. You must also apply directly to your desired institution. Again, the deadline is Friday, November 19th, 2021. Applications must be mailed directly to my Birmingham office. And remember, along with your application to my office, you must also apply directly to your desired institution. To review all of this information and to learn more, please visit my website at sewell.house.gov under the Service tab. On Saturday, December 4th, we will hold interviews via Zoom for candidates that have completed our nomination application. Again, best of luck to everyone in choosing your service academy. I wish everyone the best of luck, and I want to thank our presenters for their time and thank them for attending the military academy and for their service. I also want to thank again my staff for putting this together. So again, don't forget the deadline, Friday, November 19th, 2021. There's no greater opportunity that I have as a member of Congress than to nominate amazing boys and girls right here from Alabama's 7th Congressional District to attend one of the military academies. So